beautiful everyday people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Busayo Mesele, and on this channel I talk about great and exciting content. Please watch the full video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I am so grateful. Thank you for watching my video yet again. If this is your first time of coming across my video, that is a kiss from me to you. On this channel I talk about God, I talk about our character, I talk about going back to school, I talk about life, I talk about challenges, I talk about prayer, I talk about how to handle the storms of life as a Christian. So how does the 2 hours, the 3 hours, the 4 hours, the 10 hours prayer that you did in the morning, or when you did the 10 hours, or meditating on God's word, or the worship that you did in the morning, how does it affect the things that you do every single day? So how does being a child of God affect you when you are at work, when the challenges of life hit, when something not so good happens, when something good happens? So how do we react? How do we live in this life as children of God? I mean, spiritual people having natural experiences, right? Those are the things that I talk about on my channel. If you consider content like this something like, and I think you should, please click the subscribe button, click the notification bell as well, so that once I upload a new video, you, my darlings, will be the very first to know. Right now, if this is not your first time of coming across any of my videos, either on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, YouTube the long one, or Instagram, or even on my WhatsApp status, or anywhere you've seen my video at all, I just want to say a big thank you. Thank you for watching yet again. God bless you. Thank you for believing in this girl, and thank you for believing in the good news that I share. All right, so don't forget that I always say this here, that don't let anything take your sleep away from you except God wakes you up in the night to pray. Don't let anything take your appetite except you are fasting. Eat well, sleep well, rest well. Do your part. God will do his part. But most importantly, please rest in the finished work of Christ. And don't forget that you can always send me an email here at mesele@gmail.com. So maybe there's something you want me to talk about, or you have a question and you don't want to put it in the comment section, or maybe you want somebody to advise you in the capacity I'm able to anyways, or you just want somebody to pray with you, or you want to share a burden on your heart with somebody and you're looking for who to talk to, you can always send me an email here at mesele@gmail.com. And please don't forget, our target this year is to get 1,500 subscribers. We're not even giving up, we're getting there. We had one extra subscriber this week. We are so grateful. You know, just one, two here and there like that, we're just gonna get to 1,500. But I just want to say a big thank you to people who push my videos for me, even without me knowing. God bless you, God will honor you. All right, so let's get into what I want to talk about today. Sometimes last week I started to I shared for single people. So it was my wedding anniversary last week, seventh year wedding anniversary. That English is right. All right, so my marriage was 7 years on last Monday, and I said that usually in July into first or second week in August, I usually share tips for single people and for married people, what has worked for me. And see, this is it for me. I know my marriage is, pretty young when it comes to some people, so somebody's gonna feel like, oh, it's just 7 years, she's just been 7 years married, oh, it's just 7 years. But I don't see it that way. I don't feel like it's just 7 years. I feel like it's a big deal, and I feel like I've learned some things that I can share with people. So I'm gonna be sharing some tips, and I did share some last week. So I said last week and this week I'm just gonna focus on single people. Then maybe next week I'm going to start talking about tips to have a great marriage. All right, so last week I shared the very first thing when it comes to for single people is realize that being single is not a curse. So don't let anyone put you under pressure to just go submit to somebody you don't want to. I mean, you're just getting married to that person out of pressure. Don't let anyone rush you out of your singlehood into being married, right? So there is nothing. So yeah, marriage is great, it's awesome, it's God's plan, but don't rush into it out of pressure or out of anxiety. And the second thing I said realize that you would attract your kind. What you put out there is what's going to attract your kind to you. So what you put out there means that is the kind of person, or that thing that you're putting out there, or the version of you that you're putting out there would attract that kind to you, right? And I said you should have one version of you everywhere, whether at work or in church or at home on the bus, on the train, on the ship, wherever, in the market, anywhere you are, we shall have just one version of you. And then the third thing I said, begin to pray about who you want to spend the rest of your life with. It is a vital decision. It's not just a decision you make casually, right? You have to pray. God has to lead you into who He has designed for you. And that kind of ties with what I want to talk about today. And that is the fourth thing that I want to mention today when it comes to being single and how to enjoy your single life and how to get yourself ready for marriage. There's something I want to say before I go on. Some people say, I'm trying to get the one. But this is what I want to say. You prepare yourself to be the one, right? So some people want that very good girl, that very good guy, but they are not, preparing themselves. So let's say for a girl wants a great guy, but then my question to you is, are you a great girl? So a guy wants a great girl. My question to you is, are you a great guy? Right? So as you're desiring something in somebody else, you be that as well. So if you want a great guy, you be a great girl. If you want a great girl, you be a great guy as well. All right. So the fourth thing which I want to talk about today is, do you really know what you want when it comes to you looking out for a man or for a woman? Do you know what you want? And this is what I want to say. In answering that question, there is a question about yourself that you must have answered before you know that this is who or this is what I want. And that question is the question of purpose. Now, somebody says, what has purpose got to do with relationship? Everything. You don't want to settle for a man or for a woman who does not understand the calling of God upon your life. Now, let me clear it. When I say calling, I'm not necessarily talking about ministry. I'm not necessarily talking about fivefold. Let me break it down. I'm not necessarily talking about you being a pastor, you being an apostle, a reverend, and all of those big titles in church. Ministry is what God has called you to do. Every child of God is called into ministry, but not every child of God is called into fivefold. So I hope I cleared the air, because some people, when they hear calling or when they hear ministry, oh, pastor. I'm not talking about you being a pastor or you being a pastor's wife. Even if that's God's call for your life, there is grace for that. So this is what I want to say. You should have discovered your purpose before you get into a relationship. There is a scripture that I want to read to us today, and it's a very common and a popular scripture, and that is Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5. Bible says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you a prophet to the nations." Now, a prophet here does not necessarily, the word prophet here does not necessarily mean, you must be a pastor and, go around the nation preaching the gospel. Even though we are to preach the gospel in every field that we find ourselves. So there are some people called into the marketplace. There are some people called into entertainment. Some people are called into education sector. Some people are called into the medical field. Some people are called into politics, anywhere, the marketplace, in all of that. So some people are pastors. Now, a pastor is not more superior to somebody called into entertainment. Somebody called into entertainment is not less important to a pastor. We all are important in the scheme of God, because God has given every one of us a different assignment. Now, this is what I'm trying to say. If you have not discovered God's purpose, God's plan for your life, how do you know who can go on this journey with you? Now, let me tell you something. Not every good girl or a good guy is for you. And I'll tell you something. Sometimes ago, before I met my husband, long before I met a very long time before I met my husband, I was in a relationship with this guy. Nothing wrong with him. Great guy. Great guy. Christian. A child of God. We were in this relationship, and I think at some point we just knew that we're not meant for each other. And we're both Christians, both born again children of God, and we did end the relationship. Now, he is a good guy. I am a good girl. But this is one thing that I want you to know. Not every good guy is your guy, and not every good girl is your girl. There is one that fits into that purpose, that plan of God for you. And that is the fourth thing I'm going to say today. Before you get into a relationship, you must discover your God-given assignment, so that you can know who is best fit for this journey, because your purpose is a journey. It's a journey of life, and you must go with somebody who understands the journey the same way you're going to need to understand the person's journey of purpose as well. So we complement each other. We can go together. We can go on this journey of purpose. So your purpose might be different from my purpose. For example, my husband is a pastor. I'm a pastor's wife, but I'm not an ordained pastor, right? So there are pastors who are married to doctors. Now, even though God has called them both into different sector, but their purpose aligns. I mean, they can work together because they fit. So you need to discover yourself. So that's where what do I want comes in. Who do I want? So you must understand yourself. You must understand your purpose before you can begin to work on a journey, before you can say, okay, this is the person that fits this journey that God has called me to. So the other person can also say, okay, this person as well fits into the journey and the picture that God has shown me, and then you're working together. Even though you might be called into different sectors, and sometimes you might even be called into the same sector, but you're working together, complementing each other to fulfill the call of God upon your life. See, you would have friction in your home when you both don't align. And when it happens like that, it's like you are saying, God has called me to do this. The other person saying, no, this is what. And so there's friction. And you know who gets in the middle of the friction? The children, right? So before you bring somebody into your life, before you decide to go on a journey with somebody, ask yourself, what has God called me to do? Do I know my purpose? Do I know my assignment in life? Let me tell you what, marriage is just it. So I'm careful here. I don't want to make it sound like, oh, marriage is not important. It is important. But when we stand before God, what God is going to ask us isn't about our marriage. It's about the assignment He has called us for, or the assignment He sent us here to fulfill. Heaven wasn't so populated that He decided to send some people here. No. We're not here on vacation. No. We're here for an assignment. And one day, we're going to finish that assignment, and we're going to stand before our principal, the person who gave us the assignment, and we're going to explain to him the 80 years he gave us, the 90 years he gave us, the 100 years he gave us, the 50 years he gave us, the 60, the 30, because Jesus died at 30. We don't want to lose young people, but Jesus died at 30. And we're going to stand before him, and we're going to tell him, oh, well, this is what I did. And I got married, I couldn't fulfill my purpose, won't be an excuse that would be tenable before God. So that's why I'm saying, discover your purpose, and then discover what you want, because you've discovered your purpose, and discover whose feet fit into the shoes that can go on that journey with you. Because if you put a size 12 in a size 8, there'll be a problem. If you put a size 8 in a size 16, there's going to be a problem, right? So I'm going to peg it here today. And so I don't know if I want to continue in this line for single people next week, but then I think I've shared 4 major tips that would help. Any other thing, please, you can send me an email for that. But so next week I might just move on to the married folks. All right, thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope it blessed you as much as it did bless me. Don't forget that I have 2 books titled The Catalyst, Discover the Power to Change Your World, and the second one is titled I Am in My Waiting Season and There Is Nothing Wrong with It. Now, if you find yourself in a waiting season, whatever waiting season, whether you're single, you're trusting God to get married, you're married, you're trusting God for children, or whatever waiting season that you're in, that book will bless you. I shared my story in that book of my waiting season and how my husband and I, we are enjoying every single day of our lives. So both books are available on Amazon Kindle. I'm in my waiting season, There Is Nothing Wrong with It. That is available on Seller. So if you're quite familiar with Seller, you can get it on Seller as well. And guys, don't forget that I always say this, that you might be an everyday person, but you sure are a winner, my darling. If you don't want to see it, don't even speak it out of your mouth, because if you speak it, if you say it, you will see it. Your words are that powerful, and you rule, reign, and be wealthy. Rule, reign, and be wealthy. Rule, reign, and be wealthy. I love you. Bye, lovely.